It is our favorite time of the week again. Time for hashtag Rising Qs when we get to answer your questions. Saagar, what's up first?
Numero uno, what do we got? Rising Qs. Is there any kind of executive order a president can put forth that would debilitate Congress unless they took action on any subject? Unfortunately, not in our constitutional system, Brian.
I kind of like
I'm
that
with you,
idea of,
my
like,
dude.
Could we get remember how during impeachment there was all that talk of, is there like a jail in the
the Capitol?
In the Capitol, can you get like the marshals to arrest them and hold them hostage till they pass a stimulus? I would be down for that. Unfortunately,
there's that scene.
Do not think such a provision exists.
Is there in the House of Cards? Right. It has been a while since I watched it, but I think there's a scene where he but this is the Senate. Congress orders the sergeant at arms to go and get people and bring them back, but that's Congress ruling itself. Unfortunately,
and it's a fake show.
And it's a fake show. Unfortunately, in our constitutional system, that is not the way it works.
However, as David Dayen has been covering over
right.
the American Prospect, which I cannot recommend more often or highly enough, there is a lot that an executive can do through executive action, through regulatory changes, through prosecutorial discretion. There is a lot of power there, for better or worse, which has been expanded over the years, president after president after president. Do I think Joe Biden is going to use some of the more aggressive and legally dubious tools? No. But you should never forget that possibility exists, and him refusing to use those tools, to me, is an abdication in this current time of crisis.
That's right. All right, what's up?
All right, cue number 2. Do you think Biden's priorities will change for the better if Dems pick up the 2 Senate seats in Georgia? Hashtag healthcare, hashtag public option. Unfortunately, no, I don't. I honestly don't think it makes all that much difference whether McConnell is in charge or Chuck Schumer has marginal. A 1-vote majority, because you're still, okay, so let's say that Democrats take the Senate, then you still are having to wrestle with Joe Manchin on anything. He's not all that different from Republicans on a lot of economic priorities. And I also just think, look, Democrats love an excuse to not do much.
Yeah, I think you're right, which is that, look, if Chuck Schumer had it with a 1-vote majority, then stimulus. I think stimulus would probably happen, right? But do I think that there would be, Medicare or something? No, not a chance. I don't even think that, I don't know if Joe Manchin would vote for a public option. There's not a lot of evidence on that. Climate legislation, all that other stuff, all debt. So in terms of the balance, it would change things a lot on some issues, but not on...
You're right, though. The stimulus thing is obviously incredibly significant, and I hadn't particularly thought about that. They could do that, a lot of that, through budget reconciliation.
Right, which was 51 votes. So
right, so they wouldn't, even if he got cold feet about getting rid of the filibuster, and by the way, Manchin
ruled it out.
Manchin also already said
Same
he wasn't going to do get rid of the filibuster. So even if you're stuck with the filibuster, you could do some stimulus through budget reconciliation. So I think that would be the big difference if you had Democrats take control of the Senate versus
that's right.
McConnell.
All right, final question.
Last one.
Final question. What if the popular vote itself had 30 electoral votes? That way, if you lose the popular vote, you can win an election if you have 30-point electoral college lead. Every vote matters, but candidates still have to campaign in swing states. It's kind of interesting. It's an interesting solution. I've seen a lot of this stuff
kind of a
go around.
Solution.
Here's the deal. It's never going to happen. And I know everybody wants to say electoral college. Look, you need an amendment. It's not going to happen. Amendments, they purposefully made them so incredibly difficult. Not the founders, actually later on, after Prohibition and all of that. They were like, you know what? Amending the Constitution should be incredibly, incredibly difficult. And this is the consequence. This is actually something that some conservative justices and others have talked about for a long time. They're like, I think it needs to be easier to amend the damn Constitution. Not super easy, not 51.
But Saagar, what about the norms?
Yeah, and it's not 51. But maybe 67, 2/3, something like that. But yeah, look, this is a system. Deal with it.
Okay.
I know that sucks, but that's it.
You're right.
Yeah.
Not going to happen. But look, if we're going to do anything, we should just make a popular vote. I get the argument, the swing states, but why should Ohio and Florida be more special than Wyoming?
There's something to it.
There isn't anything to it. There's nothing to it.
Well, then
because the argument is always, then it ignores the small states with small populations. Yeah. Those states are already, Wyoming doesn't get any love because it's not a swing state. So it happens to be this one random batch of states gets all the love, and they're the only ones that matter by and large for presidential. It's insane.
It's not that they matter. It's that they have some veto power within the system, and I think that does matter, which is that Wyoming should have some power. Look, if California...
But they don't. That's what I'm saying. Right now,
Senate,
but we're talking about the Electoral College.
Sure.
So in the Electoral College, all that you have, and we can argue about the Senate another day, and I feel differently about that as well. But all you have is it ends up being just this random group of states that happens to be evenly divided. It's not like it benefits small or rural states. It doesn't benefit large, populous, or more urban states. It's a random mishmash. So I don't see why it should be that basically only these like 5 or 6 or 10 states actually matter in terms of the presidential vote. It's ridiculous and it's insane. It should just be sure, it's not going to happen. I get you on that. It should just be the popular vote. It's the thing that makes the most sense. It's like very direct and obvious. The person who gets the most votes ends up being president of the United States. That's how it should work.
Yeah, I still think there's something to it.
What is to it?
Because what's to it is that you have this system, which, like he was talking about, you can't just ignore. Like at that point, especially with the economic trends, and actually people would be incentivized to just push people even more towards the coast, and then they would just campaign on that in terms of the popular vote margin. So as long as I think America's politicians should be forced, and anybody who wants to be president, to go and campaign in the majority of the country. And
but it's not the way the Electoral College is, though.
Well, it kind of is.
It's not. Yeah. It's really not. What the Electoral College does is it makes it just about these handful of swing states. It's not like
Ohio, Florida,
nobody's campaigning in North Dakota or South Dakota or West Virginia or Kentucky. Like these states, a lot of them, some of the most struggling in the country, get completely ignored because they're not swing states.
The smallest populations,
that to me is a failure. Everybody's vote should be equal. That seems like very logical.
Here's an example. Illinois, right? Illinois is getting no love in the middle of a popular vote election.
Right.
But they've got like 11, 12 votes. So somebody does have to go there.
They
or
don't.
Ohio.
But Illinois does not get loved in the Electoral College system.
Yeah,
it's not a swing state. Nobody cares about Illinois. No one's running ads there. You know which way it's going to go. So ultimately, they don't matter either at all.
Ohio didn't used to be a swing state. Now it is. That's only, 18 votes, something like that? Or Indiana's like 12. These are all states who have people there who deserve some love. And I think they deserve, to be campaigning against. I don't want to see a country ruled by California and New York. And we already basically are there.
See, that's what it gets down to, is you're worried about California and New York getting too much attention and being too disproportionately powerful. But I don't see why. Look, I want every vote in the country to be treated equally. That's the bottom line. And the system we have right now, it's, this random collection of states. Most of the country is completely ignored and essentially irrelevant. I mean, you voting here in D.C., you don't matter at all. At this point in Virginia, right? Virginia used to be a swing state, really isn't anymore. So my vote really doesn't count either. I think very simple and straightforward. Everybody's vote should be treated equally, and the easiest way to do that is make it a popular vote.
It's not going to happen, so it's a mute conversation.
All right. Thanks for watching. We'll have more for you later.